Nowadays, more and more AI products are participating in application development. This time, we handed over the investment research management system requirements of the same securities company to AutoCode, to CC and Kimi K3 codecs, respectively. Compare their actual performance from first generation, multimodal modification, to final delivery. First, we feed the exact same initial keyword into 3 AI model tasks. They are required to generate a securities investment research management system that includes both a web management terminal, a mobile app, and a backend. Autocoder.cc started responding almost immediately. It continuously displays the content currently being generated, and the overall completion through clear task teardowns and real-time progress bars. Kimi K3 and codecs are also processing requirements at this time, but the interface is mainly in a waiting or thinking state. Now look at the generation result of Autocoder.cc. Autocode also provides clear mind map-like task teardown, allows users to visually see which pages and functions the system is generating. The first generation took only 15 minutes. In the first generation, he built individual investors, senior analysts, customer relationship managers, portfolio managers, securities analyst, institutional client compliance officer and chief research officer. 8 full characters, and configured a corresponding page, function, permission and background management terminal for each role. A complete multi-role business system has been formed. Let's take securities analysts and investment research managers as examples. Show the business linkage between the web page and the management background. First, enter the securities analyst workbench page, focusing on current research tasks, ongoing projects, pending research papers, and completed content. So here's a research mission on the Boeing supply chain, and began to create research reports. The system automatically associates task objectives, research targets, and deliverables to be completed. Next, add the stock code, industry, investment rating, target price, and risk level, and continue to fill in the investment logic, catalytic factors, valuation conclusions, and in-depth research content. The checklist on the right automatically verifies that the basic information, executive summary, and research texts are complete. After all are passed, analysts can then submit research reports for review. After the submission is completed, we switch to the background of the investment research manager. The research report just submitted will be entered into the pending review list synchronously. Managers can view research headlines, analysts, stock symbols, and current audit status. After entering the review details, the investment manager can check the complete content, and according to the quality of the research, choose to pass the review or return the modification, and fill in the specific opinions. Select here to pass the review. The research report status will be updated to publish immediately, and appear simultaneously in the list of published research reports. As you can see, and it's not several separate pages. Instead, it is fully connected to task receipt, research report creation, submission for review, and background publication. A clear closed loop of investment and research collaboration has been formed. Let's take a look at the first generation result of codecs. The entire generation process took about 3 hours and 37 minutes. Ultimately, 3 characters and 5 main navigation entrances were completed. The basic investment and research system framework has been formed. Includes data dashboard, research report list, and management background. But, in practice, some core functions are still at the static display level. If the reading morning briefing on the homepage cannot open the content, the open full report in the research report list did not jump. The invited user in the background cannot trigger the invitation process. This shows that although the current version completes the basic page structure, but key buttons, page routing, and data interaction are not yet fully connected. Overall operability still has room for improvement. Kimi generates 5 types of characters and provide corresponding login entrances for different roles. The overall number of pages is relatively rich. It covers modules such as research, report management, industry research, analyst team, customer follow-up, and data analytics. However, upon closer inspection, we can see that there are still some issues with the details of the system, which are not uniform. The dashboard uses green up and red down. The industry page uses red up and green down. In addition, Chinese units such as E and 10,000 yuan remain in the English interface. The page also shows syntax errors such as S-talks and E-reports. Some longer research headlines will also be directly although the system provides the backend admin entrance, but the current display is mainly the content of the research report used by the investment research manager. Managing the full user permissions and system configuration backend is not intuitive. Whether the data and processes between different roles are truly interconnected. Further operation verification is also required. Next, multimodal modification testing. We have uploaded the UI reference map and the PDF of the research report rules. AutoCode can not only adjust the visual hierarchy with reference to pictures, you can also extract research report fields and audit rules from the PDF. Also understand the modification requirements in the voice by reference design. AutoCode adjusts the layout, data modules, and visual hierarchy of the dashboard. The revised page adds core modules such as market trends, industry analysis, and research report management. The overall situation is closer to the real securities research scenario. From generation to optimization, AutoCode continuously understands requirements and improves product performance. Codecs supports images, file attachments, and voice input. After a long period of generation, Codecs eventually generated a more complete research dashboard page. It includes core modules such as indicator cards, market trends, and industry configurations. But in terms of reference diagram restoration, there are some differences between page and target design, although the overall product direction of the financial dashboard has been maintained. However, the layout structure, module arrangement, and some visual details are not fully reproduced according to the uploaded UI reference. Kimi K3 supports uploading pictures and files, ability to read visual references, and document content. However, the current test entry does not yet provide voice input. Kimi is able to understand securities research scenarios and generate analysts. However, in terms of detail, some pages are still more conceptual. For example, the relationship between data content, business processes, and modules needs to be further refined, rather than a complete deliverable system. Now we iterate and modify. Enter the modified words uniformly. As we continue to modify, AutoCode understands the context of the current project. Save the generated versions of the different stages. Users can switch between historical versions at any time. Review the changes before and after each modification. At the same time, through the visual edits function, users can directly adjust to local areas on the page. For example, modify the layout, style, or content of a module. without having to rebuild the entire project. This version management and local editing capability make the process of building websites closer to the real software development process. Implement a complete closed loop from generation, modification, and continuous optimization. In terms of continuous iteration, Codex supports viewing historical versions. Users can go back to previous generation results, but the overall modification process relies more on dialog adjustments. AI needs to be modified by redescribing the requirements. In comparison, it doesn't provide my map-like task teardown. There is also a lack of visual editing capabilities for local areas of the page. Also, during complex project iterations, generation and modification take a relatively long time. Users need to wait for the complete process to complete to see the results. Therefore, Codex has some capabilities in version tracking, but there is still room for improvement in quickly locating problems, making local adjustments, and iterating efficiently. In terms of continuous iteration, Kimi K3 supports adjusting existing pages through natural language, and it can be modified for some areas, possessing certain local optimization capabilities. But in terms of version management, Kimi K3 does not support historical version viewing. Users cannot directly backtrack on previous generation results. At the same time, the entire modification process did not provide my map-like task disassembly. It is difficult for users to visually see the functional modules and development progress that AI is currently working on. Therefore, Kimi K3 performs well in terms of local modification flexibility, but there is still room for improvement in version tracking, project management, and complex application iteration processes. And this is the big picture. In terms of iterative ability, Codex supports historical version viewing. Kimi K3 supports local adjustments. Autocode further provides version management, task, disassembly, and visual editing capabilities on this basis. All three products have their own advantages, but in the continuous optimization process of complex projects, Autocode provides a more complete iterative experience. Let AI build websites from one generation to continuous development. Further compare the specific pages of the mobile terminal. It can be seen that there are certain differences in the functional focus of the three products. Codex's mobile end revolves around the presentation of research reports, with functions such as report list search and category filtering. Meet basic research content browsing needs. Kimi K3 is more biased towards the market C. Displays stock dynamics, ups and downs information and follow reminders through market movers. More emphasis on access to market information. Autocode's mobile end is designed around a full research workflow. Integrate multiple business modules such as research reports, market information, and watch lists into the app. And maintain consistency with the overall system. The pages generated by Jimmy and Codex have adaptation problems under different screen sizes. The layout width and content scale need to be further optimized. And this is the big picture. Autocode emphasizes the mobile end as part of a complete research platform. Cover more business processes.